Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle skincare and sometimes self-care. And today I want to talk about congested skin because this is something that I have struggled with for many years. Starting around 2016, my congestion-prone skin just like blew up. My clogged pores were so full, so red, so inflamed, and I had so many pimples, and I did not know what to do. It's definitely been a journey for me. I have learned a lot about taking my really congested skin to much clearer skin today. So I'm really excited to share my top 6 tips with you for congested skin. If you're so ready, give the video a big thumbs up and let's jump right in. So my number 1 tip for you is to use azelaic acid. That's right, I am kicking off the video with my number 1 recommendation for congestion prone skin because this ingredient is amazing if you're suffering with a lot of clogged pores. Azelaic acid, I like to think about it in relation to BHA or salicylic acid. They are not technically related, they are separate classes of ingredients, but azelaic acid does behave in a similar fashion to BHA. It is an oil-soluble chemical exfoliant that can dive deep into your pore lining and help to exfoliate that. That not only helps with your current clogged pores, but it also helps to prevent them from happening in the first place. So it's very powerful just on that, front alone, but it actually has so many other benefits for congestion prone skin. One is that it's actually an anti-inflammation ingredient that really helps to reduce redness. It's so good at reducing inflammation and redness that it's often used for rosacea prone skin because it is so good at that. And I find that to be very helpful because when my clogged pores were at their worst, they were incredibly inflamed and very, very red. And that was what was contributing to me feeling really low about my skin, is because the amount of redness, I really felt like I had to even that out and cover it up because it was just such a sign that like my skin was not healthy, right? So definitely azelaic acid can just help with the inflammation. It can really help to take that down. It can really help to reduce the redness on the skin, which can be a confidence booster, right? I also really like that azelaic acid has brightening properties to it. Now, something that I struggle with that is in relation to inflammation is hyperpigmentation. When my clogged pores become inflamed, like no doubt there's going to be a dark mark left afterwards. That's just how my skin is. And so it is really important to reduce the amount of inflammation to help prevent the hyperpigmentation. But what's nice is if it does happen, or if you're struggling with some older hyperpigmentation, azelaic acid is helping to fade that a lot faster. It has a really great brightening property to it. Azelaic acid really helps to regulate sebum on the skin. Now, you don't have to have an oily skin type to be prone to congestion on your skin, but excessive oil on the skin can be a contributing factor to having more clogs on your skin. It's really twofold, right? It's a lot of oil and it's a lot of dead skin cells, because when those two things mix and then get stuck inside your pore, voila, we've got a clog, right? Which can turn into active acne, which can turn into all kinds of things. It can get infected and inflamed. But really, the clog is starting with oil and excessive dead skin cells. Now, there are some studies that suggest that people who are prone to congested skin might have a little bit more keratin content in their sebum, and that is just making your oil a little bit thicker, a little bit more sticky, and that's why dead skin cells are more prone to attaching themselves with that oil and getting stuck inside of the pores. So azelaic acid can help to regulate the amount of oil that you're producing, but it can also help to normalize the oil that you're producing if you are overproducing keratin in your skin. So what's nice about azelaic acid is it is starting to become a much more popular skincare ingredient over the last couple of years. I'm so glad that it's picking up in popularity because it used to be pretty hard to find. Back in 2016 when I was suffering, it was a little bit harder to get my hands on azelaic acid. Where I started was with Curology, which is the online dermatology provider. They were able to prescribe me azelaic acid, and that's what really helped me to see an improvement on my skin. I have since switched over to Curology's sister brand agency because they're a little bit more focused on well aging, which is where my skincare concerns and goals are at right now. But the funny thing is, with my agency Future formula, which is using tretinoin, which is the gold standard anti-aging ingredient, within this custom formula, I also have azelaic acid, which is helping to keep my pores clear. So that's how I did it. That's how I accessed azelaic acid. But you don't need to go for an online online subscription or anything like that. There are so many more products out there nowadays. One of the more affordable ones is from The Ordinary. This is the Azelaic Acid 10% suspension. This is like $10, and it's a really nice affordable option, especially if you're just dipping your toe into azelaic acid. 10% is a very effective amount to start off with. Something like this, you want to put this on like right before your moisturizer. It goes in towards the last step of your skincare routine, just so you know, because sometimes people don't know where to put it in their routine. They think they have to put it on after cleansing. Azelaic acid does not need to it doesn't need to be put onto your bare skin after cleansing. It's not pH dependent. So it actually works really nicely after your toners and your serums, right before your moisturizer. Another one that I like, a little bit more expensive, but the Paula's Choice 10% Azelaic Acid Booster is another excellent choice for getting azelaic acid without a prescription, without a subscription, and these products are really great for keeping the pores clear. My number 2 tip is to use tretinoin. Now, I did mention earlier that I am using tretinoin along with my azelaic acid in my Agency Future formula, and tretinoin is something that I chose to use a couple of years ago. It's about 3 years now, because I definitely wanted to focus on well aging. I'm in my 30s now. That's where my eye is on that goal right now. But tretinoin, besides just stimulating collagen, helping with fine lines and wrinkles and skin elasticity, tretinoin does actually help with congested skin as well. And that's because it is a cell communicating ingredient that basically communicates to your skin to behave in a more normal fashion. I'm going to put that into air quotes because, like, what's normal, right? But basically, as you get older, your skin becomes less efficient at producing the things that keep it looking really young and fresh and healthy. But also, if you are prone to congestion on your skin, there is a possibility that your skin cells are shedding in an abnormal way. You may be producing more dead skin cells, but your skin is not as effective at shedding it away. Or there could be a lot of different things, right? But as we've already discussed, really the main thing that causes a clog in the first place and causes that congestion is oil and dead skin cells. And if we have excessive amounts of either one of them, we're more prone to getting like the clogs in our pores in the first place. So trying to normalize that, trying to shed those away is going to go a long way in keeping your skin really clear. Tretinoin is one of the ingredients that is really one of the most effective at doing that. It is such a powerful ingredient. Now, you don't have to get it from a prescription. Like, tretinoin is a prescription ingredient. You do need to get that prescribed by a doctor or go through a dermatology service like Agency or Curology. But you could also substitute it in with over-the-counter retinol or like a retinal, spelled with an A. Those are all in a class of retinoids, same class as tretinoin, and they have similar abilities. One of the reasons I like tretinoin so much is because I've noticed the benefits of its ability to regulate my skin cell production. I really have noticed a lot less congestion on my skin from adding tretinoin into my routine. Now, as I mentioned, I have been using azelaic acid religiously since 2016, right? So I know what azelaic acid can do for my skin, but when I added tretinoin into the mix, in addition to azelaic acid, it really changed so much for me. It really kicked it up a notch. And the nice thing is these two ingredients actually play really nicely together. You could even apply them in the same skincare routine. That's why I really like Agency. This is not sponsored. I have worked with Agency on sponsored content. This is not it. But one of the things I always say and why I like the service so much is it simplifies my routine. I have tretinoin and azelaic acid in one cream, so this is really ideal for keeping things super easy for me. But these are ingredients that do work well together. If you wanted to put them on in the same routine, you absolutely could. Not all ingredients match up well with tretinoin. Azelaic acid actually happens to work really well with it. If that's not right for your skin, if maybe you're worried about irritation, which it could be potentially a lot for your skin in one routine, you can just alternate them. But they work really nicely as a complement to each other or together in the same skincare routine, and it can really kind of kick things up a notch for keeping your congested skin clear. Tip number 3 is to use an oil cleanser. And there's actually a couple of different reasons why I recommend this. And I do know that, like, we've talked a lot about excessive oil on the skin and how that can contribute to more clogged pores. So you may be thinking, I have a lot of oil, I don't want to add more oil into the mix, but oil is actually actually a really effective way to cleanse oil-based impurities in your pores. Like attracts like, oil cleansers can actually help to clear out your pores a little bit better. This is a phenomenon that has been labeled grits on the internet. When you're running a oil cleanser over your skin, you might feel some little sandy, hard kind of like particles, and that's actually hardened bits of sebum that are pretty close to the surface of your skin. The oil cleanser is actually able to effectively kind of grip them and pop them out of your skin in a really gentle way. The oil just kind of loosens things up and lets it just release on its own. And if you do this religiously, if you do use an oil cleanser like every single night or a couple of times a week consistently, you will notice that like your congestion is going to minimize. Now, this isn't like your number one solution, right? The two active ingredients that we talked about are definitely going to be the way that you want to go first and foremost, but an oil cleanser can really help to support your clear skin journey because it really does help to get all of that impurities and all the little grits and all the little yuckies out of your skin. And even when you rinse your face off, you might notice a little bit of a clearer, more even looking skin just because of that alone. And I kind of forgot how important an oil cleanser was in my skincare routine until recently. I had been using a lot of like milky type cleansers and balm type cleansers, which I absolutely love, but I kind of like lost my love for oil cleansers. And I recently started a new oil cleanser, and when I first put it onto my face, all of these grits started coming out. I could feel them under my fingertips, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, get them all out. I forgot how satisfying this is. So what I would recommend doing is just using a pump or two all of your face, massaging for about a minute. It really doesn't take a long time, and massage in soft circles that go inwards. Don't go outwards. It's called going against the grain of your skin, going inwards just a little bit. I find that little minor bit of friction helps to pick out like more of the grits and more of the clogs. You have a better chance of getting more out of your skin if you go in towards your nose instead of going outwards. My number 4 tip is get your dehydration under control. Now, this tip is not going to apply to everybody because not everybody who has congested skin is going to have dehydration. But if you have congested skin, there's a good chance that you are also suffering with dehydration. It's not a given, but there's a possibility. So see if this makes sense for you. But you may find that you have a lot of oil on your skin, but underneath there's kind of like a thirsty feeling in your skin. Like your skin is never really satisfied. And maybe I always do this because that's how my skin personally feels. Dehydration manifests on my skin like a tightening of my skin. My skin feels really tight. It's not dry on the surface or flaky in like a classical dry sense way, but it feels deep inside, parched, dehydrated, and thirsty. And that makes my skin feel really, really tight and kind of irritated and slightly itchy too. So that could be a symptom of dehydration. Lots of thick oil on the outside of your skin and like a really tight feeling on the inside of your skin. It's not necessarily flaky skin. Dehydration does not mean dry skin, but it means thirsty skin. It means skin that's lacking hydration. When your skin is chronically lacking that hydration, it's just not getting the hydration it needs, your body will try to compensate for that. It goes, hey, it's really thirsty, my skin needs lubrication, therefore I'm going to produce some more oil. We want to treat that dehydration. We want to get more hydration into our skin to help balance out the oil production on our skin. So one of my favorite ways to treat dehydration is with a toner. I just find them to be the most hydrating skincare ingredients out there, and I find them to be one of the more flexible hydrating skincare ingredients out there. So one that I really like is from Make Cream. This is their Save Me Relief Essence Toner. You know, I'm absolutely like so in love with this, so obsessed. It's one of my all-time favorite toners because it is so deeply satisfying when your skin is chronically dehydrated, when it is so thirsty. This feels amazing. But what's really nice about it is not really thick. It's not sticky. It's not gel-like. It doesn't fill your skin up with like a thick layer. So first and foremost, if you do have dehydrated skin, throw all the hydrating ingredients at your skin. Absolutely. That is the first step. It's just not the only step. The deeper root issue with dehydrated skin is your moisture barrier, because your skin barrier is what helps to hold hydration in place. So if that kind of sounds like you, if you put a lot of hydrating ingredients on at the beginning of your day in the morning, and then you can't make it to your next skincare routine at night, your skin is feeling really, really parched and depleted, that's a sign that your moisture barrier is not working the way that it's supposed to hug in all that hydration. So throw all the hydrating ingredients on, but also work on your skin barrier. One of the best ways to do this is with ceramide-based skincare. I always like to look for things that have ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids in it. Those are the three main building blocks of your skin barrier. Classic recommendation here, Cerave Moisturizing Cream. I really, really love this. It may not be suitable for all skin types. I'll be honest with you on that. This is a little bit more of a medium weight moisturizer for combination to dry skin, but I find this to be really, really nice for dehydration prone skin, for people with a weak moisture barrier. I really love it. Another one that I have to mention is Stratia Liquid Gold, because this is what helped me heal my damaged moisture barrier many, many years ago. This has ceramides, cholesterol, fatty acids. It also has 4% of niacinamide, which is an effective barrier strengthening ingredient as well. My number 5 tip is to embrace anti-inflammation skincare. And this can go a really long way to helping to support your overall skincare routine when it comes to tackling congestion, because that's really what takes a little bit of texture and clogged pores on your skin, and adding inflammation into the mix can then turn them into pimples. It can turn them into much bigger inflamed clogged pores on your skin. It can cause a lot of redness on your skin, and that was actually what was contributing to me feeling very low about my skin, was really the inflammation, because just the texture is one thing, right? But then when you get that really angry red kind of flush on your skin, and then that inflammation is getting into those pimples along with some bacteria and causing like whiteheads and swelling, that's where things just kind of start to feel like, okay, I got to get this under control, right? Anti-inflammation skincare can really help to support getting that under control. I love them because it really helps with the redness. It really helps with the swelling. It can help so much with just the look of your skin. And I do find that a lot of great anti-inflammation skincare ingredients also naturally have antibacterial benefits. There are so many ingredients out there that can really help to achieve this, but one of my favorites is Propolis. I've spent so many years on my channel raving about Propolis. You know, it's one of my all-time favorite skincare ingredients, and this is exactly why. It has really helped with my congested skin because it does help to reduce the inflammation. It helps to reduce the potential for me to get hyperpigmentation on my skin, and overall seems to have a really great benefit for speeding up the healing of any clogged pore that has turned into a pimple or into a lot of breakouts on my face. Propolis just really helps to soothe that so much. So one of my favorites is the by Wishtrend Polyphenols in Propolis 15% Ampule. Now they recently changed the name. I believe it is now called the by Wishtrend Propolis Energy Ampule. Nothing has changed about the formula, like thank goodness, right? Because I've relied on this for so many years. It works so, so well. The propolis in this really helps to facilitate the healing, helps speed up the life cycle of the pimples or like the inflamed congestion that you have on your skin. And then there's also a good amount of H. cordata extract in here, or Heartleaf extract, which I also is an ingredient that I really do recommend for anti-inflammation skincare, because not only does it help to soothe the inflammation and the redness, it has a great antibacterial benefit along with propolis, which can go a long way to making sure that those clogged pores don't turn into really swollen, red inflamed pimples. Another ingredient that I like that I've gotten a lot of benefit from is Snail Secretion Filtrate. I mean, this is such a goodie for so many reasons, and it actually has a lot of similar properties to propolis. It does help to facilitate healing on the skin. It does have antibacterial properties to it. It's just generally a very healing, soothing, anti-inflammation, anti-redness type of ingredient. One of my favorite, most famous snail products out there is the Cosrx Advanced Snail 96 Mucin Power Essence. This is so stinking popular for a reason. One of the few products I personally feel lives up to the hype. And if you do have congestion prone skin, especially if it does get very inflamed and very red and very angry, and you're very prone to breakouts, this could be something nice to experiment with in your skincare routine. It's very soothing, but it's also very hydrating, which could make it a nice addition if you have identified some dehydration in your skin along with your congestion. It's really hydrating, it's plumping, it's got a nice gel texture to it, and I don't find it to be very overwhelming for oily skin. Another ingredient that I really like that I've kind of already covered is H. cordata or Heartleaf extract. I just wanted to quickly mention it because it does have a great antibacterial benefit, a great kind of clarifying benefit for the skin without being stripping. And I do find that this ingredient, especially when you find it like really as the star ingredient on its own, not like combined with Propolis, but just like on its own, it does tend to be very, very friendly to oily skin types. So one that I like is the Manyo R Vegan Heartleaf Ampule. This has a high amount of Heartleaf and not much else. It's a very minimal formula with a very, very light, quickly absorbed, non-sticky, non-greasy, non-moisture based texture. So if you are very, very worried about a thicker skincare on your skin, this is going to be the way to go. And my number 6 tip is look at your lifestyle. I am a big believer in holistic skincare, meaning it's not just about what you put onto your face that contributes to the way that your skin looks or contributes to your skin goals. I definitely do believe that everything in your body is connected. And I just want to, before I tell you kind of what I've discovered about my individual self, I really want to emphasize my individual self. Everybody's body is different. Please do not take this as strict dietary advice because it's not. This is not health advice. This is just what I've learned about myself. And I would encourage you to go on a journey to find out what is individual and unique to you and what works for you, because it's not going to be the same for everybody. So diet wise, right? There's definitely some food that agrees with me really well and some that does not. Some that makes my digestion really sluggish or causes a lot of problems. And it's taken, like I said, a long time of trial and error to figure out what that is. But definitely a big culprit for me has been dairy products. I still consume some dairy, but I do find that I have to limit the amount that I have. If my gut is inflamed, if my gut is upset and not working optimally, I guarantee you 100% it is going to show on my face. And there's research out there about the connection between your gut and really everything in your body, but your gut and your skin definitely. Something else that I find can cause a lot of inflammation in my body is alcohol. Excessive, especially amounts of alcohol, can definitely cause issues. Excessive amounts of caffeine can cause issues for me too. So those are things that I like to keep very, very moderate, very, very limited to not in my routine, like my diet at all. But that's just how my body works. Something else that I found is that taking a probiotic helps a lot, helps a lot with keeping my gut working optimally and managing stress. I do the best that I can on any given day, but honestly, just even being aware of the amount of stress that you're under, just being aware of some of the things that you can do self-care wise to maybe take it down just a little bit or help yourself recover and help yourself recuperate a little bit from high stress situations can actually go a long way, especially to reducing inflammation in the body and reducing the inflammation that can manifest on your skin. So I hope that me sharing those 6 tips from my personal journey with congested skin helps your journey. And I am curious, is there something that has helped your skin improve, help clear it up that I didn't mention in the video? Drop all of your personal recommendations in the comment box below, because we're all about helping each other out on this channel. Now, if you love this video and it was valuable, it helped you out, but you haven't hit subscribe yet, please consider hitting subscribe before you go. I release a lot of new skincare content throughout the week. I do full-length videos and I do shorts, so consider turning on notifications so you're never out of the loop. I hope you are healthy, happy, and safe. I'm so glad you were with me here today, and I love you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye.